We were pretty close to 2,000, right? This is instructing us to evacuate and report to government. That part always gets me. Report to government. Does anybody have the number for the government? Yeah. Just a nice old Breitling. Reported? No! No! Don't click that button. I think maybe the crystal's getting a little foggy on this. Just a bit. Originally this came with an acrylic high dome crystal, but this glass one just fit it so perfectly. So, but yeah, it's actually developing a fog underneath. And the way to clean that is you just open it up and lick it. No, I'm just kidding. Don't ever do that. Don't ever, ever, ever do that. Then you're really actually going to hurt yourself. Okay. Don't do this either. Don't do anything I do. Here's a fuzz. Feels like the dial screws are loose. Okay, this paint on the dial here is pretty fragile. And the best part about this watch, in my opinion, is that dial paint and finish. It's just so unique. But yeah, the dial is loose. There's one screw. And there's two. So either the screws are loose or the feet are broken. Jim Nin, hey, things spiking hard. I may or may not have a little box that will push that Geiger counter over 9,000. Allegedly.
It's over 9,000!
How was that? Was that crispy? Sometimes some of these samples are pretty crispy. Okay. Hoosier Cruiser, stream looks clean AF. You know, it feels good because we just had to put up with a lower quality for a while there. But thank you. Thank you for noticing. We are currently sitting at 42 dropped frames. And that is awesome. That's great. Because as we know, it's the answer to life. And everything. How does it go again? Okay, that's not good. The heck is going on with this watch? Smashman, hey, any Russian watch in the near future? I don't think so. I might have one in a box somewhere, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Hey Blackstone, if it's Swiss made, my guess would be Etta. If it's Japan, then say Bulova. Inside movement. This Porsche does not make watches, only licenses out of their logo. What was the question? Oh, what's up, Canon? Do you repair a quartz clock? I've done hundreds, yeah. I've repaired and replaced hundreds, if not more, quartz clock movements. I've serviced a number of them, taken them apart, cleaned, and put them back together, that sort of thing. Ninjon, when was that watch made? The Breitling, I think, is late 1930s, like 38, 39. I can't quite nail it down precisely because the serial number lookup for the case only goes back to 1944. So I'm kind of just shooting from the hip when I, assuming that the serial numbers are, numerical in order. And anyway, but I believe they used radium. Certain companies used it even into the 1960s. Is that right? That's a crusty looking dial screw. Okay, I don't think the feet are broken. I think the feet are just... Yeah, I don't think they're broken. This one's a bit frozen though. Here we go. A little bit of schmutz, a little bit of glue, a little bit of rust. Let's see if that was enough. Oh, hey, look. M&M again. Why people do this, I have no idea. You don't need to put your scribe mark all over the watch. We've worked on some watches where somebody put their scribe mark like on each individual piece. And it's just like, why? Why would you do that? That makes zero sense. $495, oh, $49.58, 10, blue DS. Hey, focus, come back. And then $29.17. Anyway. Yeah, that looks so purple. I really wish I could show that. Well, if you weren't here earlier when I had it under the microscope, you can see that metallic sort of shimmer. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool for sure.
Back.
Who's your hazmat suit? So nice to see that close to civilians. Is anyone answering the phones for the government? What's up, Unstable? Sofa, that Breitling is nice. Yeah, it is, huh? Icy, have you done your yearly ionizing radiation training? Does that involve crystals and dowsing rods and stuff like that? Pendulums and crystals, right? Pretty sure I've had it done before. Hey, B0, thank you for the sub. Thank you, thank you. Welcome back. Well, thank you. It's good to be back. Rashapon, thank you for the follow. Okay. Something I noticed right off the bat is this hour wheel. That's pretty weird. Big little step in there. Everything I see on the dial side here is really confidence inspiring. Everything's looking to be in pretty good shape so far. What do you think of Breitling Navitimers? They're okay. Very busy dial. But if that's your thing, it's like, you know, over the years I've gone through phases, you know, with styles and watches and, you know, just like with clothes, right? And there was a time where I was super into that. Not so much anymore, though. Arun, Vostok seems like it'd be cheaper to buy a new one than the service. Yeah, sometimes. Reminds me of people carving their initials into wood posts or bathroom stalls. The idea is to do it so that it's microscopic. Like, I shouldn't be able to read this M&M 65 by holding it out like that. Like, it should be so small that maybe the bottom edge of the 2 is how big it should be. And realistically, It only needs to be done on the case back. You don't need to be doing it everywhere else, or anywhere else for that matter. It can be done very discreetly too, so nobody really even notices. Well, there's still some liquid lubricant here. Smash mitt, where are the two little rubies against the wheel under the microscope? Sorry if I asked before. Oh, no big deal. This watch is an Accutron, whereas this one uses a balance wheel and a mainspring. This one uses a battery and a tuning fork. So the tuning fork is being powered by these driver coils up here. And it's running at a frequency of, what is the 218? Is it 320? Or I think it's 360 hertz, right? Yeah, it's running at 360 hertz. And hang on a second, I gotta sneeze. Yeah, I'm afraid I might be coming down with something. Anyway, what was I saying? Driver coils, tuning fork, 360 hertz, and that fork is what's pushing against that wheel. So as it's vibrating, it's pushing against it right at 360 hertz. So one of them, the top one, is the index finger, and the bottom one is what was it again? The braking pawl? I think that's what it was. And the wheel that it's pushing against is just a touch over 2 millimeters in diameter. It's like 2.2 millimeters in diameter. And it's got 320 teeth on it. The thickness of the wheel is like nothing. You go to measure it and the measuring device just says nothing. I might as well take the minute wheel out while I'm here. And I want to unwind the mainspring before I take out these pieces here. So let's do that. I see if it's the one you had on the mic the other day, it's 360. Yeah, it's the same one. We've had that same Accutron. It's been a great little demo watch. Like, I've been looking at old VODs to try to upload them to YouTube. And 2018, we had that under the microscope. I think I've only put 3 batteries in it too, which is really good for an Accutron in that amount of time. If you can get a year out of a battery for an Accutron, you're doing pretty good. Sometimes I would see customers every 6 months to get a battery changed. Okay, I gotta blow my nose. Darn it. Well, I just put those in the same basket, so that's okay. All right. Let me honk my nose. And pre-roll's almost back on, so I'll run a 1 minute and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Dopamine Panda, hey, welcome. Blackstone, love the sound of the hum. It's soothing. Well, here you go. I don't think I was able to really show it. That was better. That was a little better. Smash, my teacher would have scolded me several times because the spring isn't unwound. Oh, like if you're taking the bridge off or something like that. Mornax, hey, how many years can a button cell hold its charge in the blister pack before you have to toss it out? You know, it varies. It varies a lot, actually. Not just between different brands, but also box to box. It's like within the same brand, you might have some that just aren't any good, even if it hasn't been on the shelf that long. The general rule of thumb for us at the shop would be we only really want to stock as many batteries that we can use within a couple of months max. We didn't like to stock like a whole bunch of batteries that we just, weren't very common. So when, certain oddball batteries, when the supplies would get down and low, down to like 1 or 2, then we would order 5 more. Some of them are just so infrequent that you don't need to order 100 at a time like we would do with 377s, 364s, 2016s. Yeah, like those are the big 3. Those were the really common ones. But also the lithium seemed to last longer on the shelf. What I would recommend is if you change your own batteries, and you're changing your own batteries for your own watches, I wouldn't get like more than a 5-pack at a time. Maybe, sure, you save more money when you buy in bulk, but what's the point of buying in bulk if you're not actually using the battery? And it goes bad before. Interesting. Do you test the voltage on the batteries before? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's always good practice to do that. Not only to test the new ones, but also to test the old ones. Because sometimes a watch would come in for a battery change and the battery's good. So at that point you're like, okay, why even bother, popping a new one out when we know for a fact this one's already good? Okay, there's not much power in that spring. I need to get that auto assembly off before I can do this because this has its own ratchet. Can I toggle both ratchets at the same time and unwind the crown? Challenge accepted. Still doesn't want to release. Smash the fact that they didn't make all the batteries rechargeable. It's the biggest oversight. Well, you got to consider that battery tech has come a long, long way. Also, I think there's something to be said for the ease of recyclability, you know. You're going to have greater incentive to save the used batteries if there's money in it. And with silver oxide, which is what most button cell batteries are, the bigger ones are going to be lithium. You want to save those as well. But after mercury batteries, silver oxide, you're going to find that every spot is saving those batteries. Because there's cash value to it. Now, I don't know. I would imagine the lithium is worse to recycle, worse for the environment, you know, maybe takes more energy even than the silver oxide, but I don't actually know that. I suspect. I had no idea there was market for used button cells. Oh, absolutely. In fact, I even remember way back when I was a little boy, there would be a traveling recycler. Somebody going around, you know, maybe even state by state, going to all the jewelry stores, maybe all of the, you know, mall kiosks, and buying the used batteries. Kind of as a service, because shipping those used batteries to a refinery, it's involved, you know. It's not like super cut and dry, super easy. You got to take time out of your day to box it all up, pay for shipping and all that jazz. And then if you're shipping, you know, like 30 pounds of used batteries, it's not cheap. So that eats into the bottom line. Pretty odd auto winding assembly, and very, very filthy. That rocker assembly right in the middle is just grungy. Hey, engine. Back then, mercury were common. Mercury was quite valuable. I wonder how present they were to the toxicity. Probably not very, I would suspect. Because, I mean, I would hear stories about how people would take a tour of like a mercury factory, refinery, whatever, and at the end of the tour, they would have a 55-gallon barrel full of mercury just sitting there so that you can dunk your arm in it. Be like, whoa, look, You know, that sort of thing. It tingles. Whoa, it's cold. Yeah, this thing's been around. Honestly, I think I want to clean the, I want to put the Omega through the cleaner first before I put this one through. Are there scratches? Yeah, there's lots of scratches on this. I'm wondering if I should put a different surface finish on the ratchet wheel. Anyway, so this crown wheel I suspect is reverse thread. Let's just sample it to check. Ooh, this bushing is going to need a tightening. No, not too bad. Jeez, man. Do a different basket. Unstable do say, I had a friend who got to play with mercury in his hands sometimes growing up. In hindsight, not the best form of entertainment. Especially growing up, you know? Think about all the things we put in our mouths. Or maybe don't. Maybe don't think about that. Slap a coat of paint on it. Let me guess, blue? Scratches under the automatic module. This dude was rowdy. It was, let's be real, it was right? Phil has seen better days. Hey, Delusion. How's your dad doing? He's doing okay. He's out in the living room watching Yellowstone with my mom. Yeah, that's gonna need a bit of a tightening. So, notice how much play there is here. We're gonna have to address that. Wow. We're an hour and 40 in, and we only have 165 drop frames. I can't tell you what a relief that is. Ew. Something tells me if I didn't have sinus pressure, and I'm not 100% right now. I'm not feeling too hot. But something tells me this watch stinks. But I really think it's going to come out quite nice. I don't like any of those. Beautiful. There's just a hint of rust right here. Oh, wanted to offer promotion or something, right? Go to dogehype.com. Really? It's the best name you guys could come up with? Yikes, man. Any other name for it, I probably wouldn't have banned you. Probably just would have deleted the comment. Just FYI, chat, like, something like that isn't for me. Like, they're not doing that to reach out to me. They're doing that to reach out to you, chat. Boy, that ratchet spring is on its last legs. I think I'm going to have to replace that or make a new one. Smash, my grandfather's watch, Ulysse Nardon. 1962 has extra capstone on the bridge of the pallet fork. My teacher helped me to repair it, but he said it didn't have a function as it was for tax purposes. More rubies, less tax. Yeah, I mean, the capstone on the fork, you wouldn't be oiling it, so what's the point of the capstone? I can see that. I can see that reasoning. But I think there is something to be said about a capstone keeping a jewel clean or cleaner. There's some occasions and circumstances where the automatic winding system is right above the fork, like the Zodiac we just worked on. The dirty part of the auto winding system was located right above the fork. So yeah, there really isn't a whole lot of purpose like for that. And realistically, there's better places for the capstone. So they could have put it along the gear train, right? And functionally, that would have been fantastic. Assuming that, you know, escape wheel had its own capstone. Couldn't hurt to have the, you know, fourth wheel with a capstone, third wheel with a capstone. Hey Cakes, did something spicy happen? I just got here. No, just somebody in chat doing like self-promotion. Not self-promotion, just trying to put out links for, you know, people to go to. And they were trying to evade auto moderation. So they like spelled out the website instead of like just typing out exactly what the website was, because there's a lot of auto mod things that will automatically delete those sort of messages. ICU is from me and you deleted it? Somebody's got to protect you. Diecast. Close-up is cool with the jewel. Yeah, it is pretty cool, huh? See, like, these have capstones. And it really makes sense. That one too, that one too, that one three, that one three. Yeah, 218s were cool like that. Keep it extra clean makes sense. It's Capstone on Jewel. Google the movement if you like. Oh, okay. I've worked on a couple of older Ulysse Nardons, and they're nice. They're nice. Although, I would probably still take an IWC. Okay. Take a look at this click spring for the ratchet. This thing is seriously fatigued. This might be an M&M special. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I have a replacement for it. Hey, what's up, P-dubs? This thing might break even just taking it out. Nope. Yeah, that's pretty gross. Pretty gross. Okay, there's enough material here to tighten up the bushing. And we'll be going through the cleaner first, because it's all pretty filthy. The barrel looks to be in good shape. Let's see how the arbor is doing. Tight. Yeah, tight. Good. Honestly, this mainspring barrel might be the nicest thing in the watch. And the spring's in good shape too. And it's somewhat clean in here. What the heck? Alrighty then. That's a big fuzz. Okay, gear train bridge, fork. That's it for this side. Whole lot of oil under the bridge. I don't even know what that is. Looks like a petrified fiber mixed with whale blubber. Hey, Steakass. Crazy how meticulous you need to be in this domain. Impressed? Oh, okay. You really have to have an eye for the small things. You gotta look at each part. Like, look at that. Who knows what the heck that is? That might just be an insect carcass. I don't know, man. Can I post a link? Oh, of course. Blackstone, does having double flywheel serve any purpose, or is it just for looks? Oh, you're talking about the, like, who does a lot of that? FP Jorn and maybe H Mosier. I've seen a couple of FP Jorns like that. I've seen some Breguets, some older Breguets like that. The double balance wheel thing, from what I've heard, it's apparently for better consistency, but I think it's mostly just a flex. I don't think it kind of like a tourbillon. I'm sure a tourbillon owner would, you know, argue otherwise, but to wear a tourbillon on your wrist is defeating the purpose of the tourbillon. And they might argue, oh, it's actually much more accurate than a standard balance wheel. And it's like, by what factor? By what scale, you know? If we're talking fractions of a second per day, I just can't see the justification or reasoning behind that. Because you're talking about something that's going to add multiple times over the value of other watches that are comparably accurate, you know, comparably similar in accuracy, maybe even more accurate. Okay, what the heck are you? I think it's just a fiber with some weird looking things on it. Some fiber with some rotten oil. I don't think it's insect. Maybe it is. I don't actually know. No, I don't think it is. Have the appearance of blood. Yeah, just like right at the end. Right at that tip. And just the tip. Dark, looks like a bug leg. Kinda, right? Looks like food, some onion ring from M&M. Oh, you kind of want my take on this? Let's see, there's nothing in there that's compromising, is it? No, I don't think so. Entry level, Seiko, they're missing another level that's before entry level. I wouldn't put Bulova in with Fossil. Just like I might not put Citizen in with Casio. Or even Timex. Definitely not Festina. I think Orient's okay here. Wanger's okay here. They're confusing something here. Wanger is Swiss military. These two are both the same. Not to be confused with Victorinox, which is Swiss Army. Do they even have that on here? Oh, here it is. I think I'm okay with where this is at. I wouldn't really consider Victorinox luxury. And I wouldn't consider Luminox luxury either. Poljo? Isn't that Russian? Kind of interesting to find a Russian watch in there with luxury. Okay, what else do we have there? We've got... Yeah, I mean, okay, so Fossil Group, you know, with Festina and Certina here, this might be okay. But to see Festina next to Timex, to see Mondaine next to Timex, to see... I'm not sure what Deep Blue is, but I wouldn't consider Bulova... Yeah, they really need an extra box here. Epos. Okay, so it's a bit difficult to just reduce some of these to certain areas because each one of these, they have their own higher ends and lower ends. Like you can get really cheap Bulova or really expensive Bulova, right? You can get really cheap Citizen or you can get really expensive Citizen. Like, doesn't Citizen make a tourbillon? So, yeah, I mean, Raymond Weil, Tissot, Glycine. I don't think Glycine belongs here anymore. This might be an older list or something, but maybe they belonged there 10 years ago, but now they're owned by Invicta. So, no more. Zodiac, there again, it's like you can get some really cheap ones and really expensive ones. Mito, same sort of deal. Frederic Constant, I feel like they're overpriced. I personally feel like Raymond Weil are typically equal to, if not better than Frederic Constant. Alpina Youngins, this might be lower. Same with Fortis, could be lower. Ball's fine. Nomos, Bell and Ross, Eterna, Sin, Maurice Lacroix, Beaumercier. Beaumercier and Maurice Lacroix, like, both of them make $10,000 watches. And Zin, I don't know. There almost needs to be another subsection between luxury and basic luxury. Longines, they make some very fine watches. It's really tough to have them lumped in with Tag Heuer. Rados are still really nice. Tudor, oh yeah. It's difficult. It's kind of weird to see some of these brands lumped into the same box. Corum, Chopard, Bulgari, Panerai, Cartier, Breitling. I think Breitling belongs down here. Let's be real. Glasuit. Tough to see this one up here. I think a lot of Glasuit might fall in this general area. Zenith, Grand Seiko, IWC, Omega, Rolex. Okay, most of that I'm alright with. Okay, high-end, Ulysse Nardin. They weren't always up here. Vast majority of their stuff was probably down here over the years. Like, over the years, IWC would consistently rank higher than Ulysse Nardin, I would say. Piaget, Jaeger-LeCoultre, Breguet, Blancpain, Langitsen. This might go up here. Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, Vacheron Constant. It's. I really do feel like this should have a date on it, because there are certain things that, you know, at one point belonged up here, but now they belong down here, you know? So over the years, yeah, it's tough. Ovid, FP Jorn, Grubel Forsey, H. Mosier, Reese Monet. Okay, so how about HYT? How about MBNF? How about what's the one that all the football players wear? Chat, help me out. A lot of celebrities and football players will wear the very colorful Richard Mille. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, thank you. So, yeah, we don't see those. You know what else I'm not seeing? Is, oh God, they're under their own bubble. Starts with an M. Movado. Where's Movado? Where is... Oh shoot, who's Luis? Hey Fishy, where's Hublot? Yeah, Hublot, they're down here. No, they're not that bad. I wouldn't put them in with IWC though. It's tough. It's really tough because just in this little box right here, IWC, Grand Seiko, Zenith, Glasuit, there is such a wide variety. Not just quality. Most of the quality that you're going to find from those four are pretty consistent across the board. But the styles that you'll find are just all over the place. Like, it's Zenith, I would say their main focus is on sports style watches. Not quite tool watches, but more so sports. And then you look at like a Chopard or a Corum, and they don't look anything like you would find at Zenith. And in my eyes, Bulgari does not belong next to any of these. Bulgari probably should fall down in here. I think it's okay to have Omega and Rolex here. There again, they make a wide range of different types and styles and qualities. Chopard, Cartier, pretty much the epitome of luxury, right? When you think of luxury, in my mind, I think a dress watch, you know? What is that liquor brand? What's the LVMH? We're not really seeing some brands in their bubble. So what I was going to say is Fossil, for example. Fossil is its own conglomerate. So Fossil, they've got a pretty wide range of different watches. One of them being Michel. So Michel is nowhere near entry level, right? You're going to find that in entry luxury. You'll find a lot of, and they're popular too, a lot of ladies are going to be wearing Michel watches. And they'll have no problem spending, you know, $1,200-1,500 on them. You know, whether that makes sense or not is a different story, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of fun to see those styles of lists. Okay, what is this other one? Oh, are they both the same? Or did I click that second one first? No, excuse me. Okay, they're both the same. That's cool though. That's cool though. Oh, Jacob and Company. Yeah. So far, aren't there expensive Orient watches? There's expensive Seiko watches, and it kind of falls in the same sort of quality and range. Smash, but is it luxury and price or design and pedigree? That's kind of what I was getting at, was that like depends on, you know, depends on who's looking at it. Because you could just be looking at it and it's just like you have a different opinion of what a luxury item is, even aside from watches in general. But if you were to narrow it down to, specific watches, like it's really kind of fluid. There is no clear definition on these things. So sometimes you might see the question come up like, well, how come it's the Holy Trinity of watches? How come it's the Trinity where you get Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, Vacheron Constant? But how come Jaeger-LeCoultre isn't a part of that? How come Rolex isn't a part of that? Well, that one's a little clearer, right? That one makes more sense. But Jaeger-LeCoultre, they made movements for all three of them. Sure, they all have their own in-house as well, but why is this the Holy Trinity when JLC is, it's kind of up there as well? And the theory is that, or at least the narrative, is that, well, they don't exclusively make, ultra high-end watches. They also make some entry-level stuff. They also make, some sports watches. They also make some, whatever. Like, and it's like, I don't really see how clearly defined that is. Like, it doesn't quite make as much sense to me. Where did this term of the Holy Trinity come from? I will bet that it probably just came from journalists, bloggers, people who write the editorials and advertisements and that sort of thing. And it's just because that's what they see. Like, maybe they just see like, oh, okay, all of these watches are in 5-figure range, so they're exclusively in their own tier. I don't know. Rolex, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. They make dress watches, they make sports watches, they make, quite a different range of different things. And I don't know if I would really consider Tudor to be basic luxury. Yeah, it's hard for me to see like Fortis like just thrown in here. Even Oris, I don't know. Frederic Constant right next to Tudor. Yeah, I don't know. Some of these are just sort of irk me. I like that though. We should do a tier list. Engine, maybe the chart should be bars from X to Y zones. Yeah, that probably makes sense. Fossil, Shinola. Orient Star is a bit more upscale. Patek and Audemars is just second tier, huh? Things must be extraordinarily priced. Yeah. J-Bob Job, is there a knockoff website you'd recommend for watches? No. I typically don't recommend knockoff at all. I don't think it's good for the industry. I don't think it's... Sure, there's a market for it. Obviously, like, clearly, there's a market for it. But it's not something I would personally support. Disregarded, it's hard to read the chart. Oh, my bad. Should have done that. Should have done that. Smash, my dad told me once there was a watch fair. It was a competition where they wanted to make the smallest screw. Some company won. JJ sent them the winning screw after some weeks. He said, check it under a microscope. Tapped an even smaller screw than the winning screw. JLC in a nutshell. Yeah. LeCoultre, over the years, like, they've always been impressive to me. Certainly excellent value for what you get. It's like, sure, even if it's thousands of dollars, it's just like you open one up and then you're just like, oh, okay, I get it. You know, it's not just the prowess, the technical prowess that they have. It's the attention to detail. Certain things like the screw, for example. It's like, yeah, most manufacturers are going to polish the head of the screw, right? Most will polish the head of the screw. How many are going to polish the shaft of the screw underneath? Nobody does that. Most don't. JLC does, though. Hey, Gohaku just joined us, Hermes. Part of the list. Yeah, I didn't see it up there. Or is it Hermes? Hermes. J-Bob, just curious. I think you pulled up websites in the past on stream. I'm certainly willing to look at them. I'm not going to endorse any of that. You might have been thinking of... I don't know if I would call them gray market, but places like Joma Shop, where you're going to find that they consistently beat out the prices of other online retailers. But how they do that is that they buy the watches from the company out the back door. Meaning the company won't honor the warranty for those. The reason they can sell them for a little bit cheaper than everybody else is typically because they don't have the factory warranty. They have the website warranty. So something goes wrong, you look up the manual for your watch, and you're like, oh, okay, the warranty is covering this. Well, the reality is that specific serial is not going to be covered under their warranty. They push all of the liability over to the website. And from what I've heard, it can be hit or miss. It's like sometimes they could honor the warranty, sometimes they might not. But yeah. Who's your creature? There's plenty of affordables. So glad you said that, man. Fishy AliExpress. Yeah, for everything though, right? Montoya's Revenge. Wow, never even heard of those in the ultra luxury list. Yeah, I mean, here again, like I would probably consider Lanjutsen up here as well. And certain points in time, Breguet absolutely would have been up here. Blancpain, maybe more luxury than high end. Again, Ulysse Nardin, maybe more luxury than ultra high end or high end. But yeah, I mean, over the years, see, I think this says 1770 something, but I think Breguet as a family has been around longer than that. They'd been pushing the envelope and they'd been inventing different technologies that still persist to this day. What else? There's a lot of American brands that really no longer exist. Javril. Seeing Alpina here is kind of odd. To me, I don't really see them as like a watch category. I feel like they're more like a Tiffany where they'll put their name on certain things. I don't know enough about their business though. Kohaku, no mention of citizens? No, they're there. They're at entry level, which doesn't make any sense to me. Having them down there when they make a tourbillon, it's like a $70,000 watch, I think, last I remember. It's like entry level tourbillon. So I guess maybe that makes sense. I don't know. Also, they make some pretty high-end quartz watches as well. They, in my mind, Citizen has pushed the ball forward in the digital space between circuitry, technologies, functions and features. They've pushed the watch world forward kind of like Breguet has pushed it forward in the mechanical aspects. So it's doesn't sit well just to see them all the way at the bottom there. Hey, pizza, Citizen should be higher. Krator is missing. Yeah, they had Grand Seiko, but they didn't have Krator. And when I was talking about the Citizen Tourbillon, I was thinking about the Seiko, which is Krator. And it's kind of odd for them to include Grand Seiko and Seiko, but then not have Pulsar and not have Krator. I don't know. It's the Fugaku. So nothing about this watch screams entry level to me. Hodinky? You good? It's not me. Just soak that in for a second. Citizen 100 or Glorious? Yeah, exactly. Who's your Panerai? Panerai was there. But that's also like, they're like a tool watch brand, you know? So it's like, it's difficult for me to parse tool watch with luxury. I don't know. I'm just, I guess, old school like that. I don't know. Show us the back. Okay. What part of Indiana? Sofa, where's Boucher? Yeah, that should have been probably in luxury, but not so much anymore, right? It used to be that Boucher was pretty firmly in the luxury. See, this has the Seiko name right on it. It's just entry level. It's fine. We're good. There's Seiko movement number, Seiko model number. Nah, it's fine. Just platinum and 18 karat, you know. Only 8 made. Yeah, I don't know. That was a fun little squirrel hunt there. $100K entry watch, let's go. Yep. Oh, I've had the music muted this whole time. Silly horror. I muted it for the tuning fork sound. Yeah, that'd be fun to do a tier list on those. There's some crusty chunks here. Xenu's quality, but calling them luxury is stretching the term a lot. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. That's what I was talking about, was like, the term luxury kind of means something a little bit different. It's very subjective, I feel like. A lot of fuzz. Whoa, that was wrapped around the wheel. This thing's gonna clean up really nice, I think. Oof. Look at the pinion on this center wheel. Pretty grungy. Hard to tell if it's worn because there's just so much there. A little dirty inside, but it's really that outside pinion area that's going to need a little scrubbing. But also look at this escape wheel. You get to the teeth, they're not that bad. Once you look in the middle, Like, wait a second. Pivots. Pivots look pretty good though. It's really amazing what watches are subjected to, and they'll still run. Happily. Smash Eminem's nose hair as a souvenir. Let's scrub the pinion on this center wheel. Sad times. My wrist eraser. Let's get it in a pin vise. It's going to be a little more easy to work with. Alright, let's see what that did. Hey Ralphie, no micro spider. We might have saw a spider leg. Where are we? Yeah, that pinion is pretty worn. I think it'll clean up pretty nice though. And the escape wheel. We'll give it a little TLC with a nylon brush. Hey, Bug Tit. Smash, I would love to hear your dad's take on that list as an OG. Oh, for sure. Me too. Yeah, next time I stream with him. Do you follow his stream, Smash? I don't think he's been streaming the last couple of weeks, but for a while there he was streaming a few days a week. Engine debatable. Have you ever actually worn his name? I had a feeling you might chime in. I know you're a big fan. I like them too. For me, they're on par with like a lot of Omegas. Like I had an Omega dynamic that reminded me a lot of a Zin that customer brought in. Montoya, I love how watches are like this, oasis of old school craftsmanship, engineering, artistry, in spite of technological advancement. And it's like hand in hand. Like with Citizen, like I was saying, you know, it's like they had pushed the ball so far in just the raw technology department, you know. And with Bulova, you know, over the years they had consistently, you know, reinvented the watch, and you know, with what we have under the microscope here. This was so far outside the realm of a wristwatch or like timepiece. And it's actually a successful industry. Not much left like this. Yeah. Smash, that would be an awesome discussion, young versus old. Nerdin. That's why I appreciate watches so much. Even though I prefer wearing digital watches, yeah. Pizza, you have two. Definitely tool watches, but super that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's so much more we can discuss about luxury. You know what? You know what I think would really make that list better is to have those different categories. You can have dress watch, sports watch, tool watch. You could maybe even go towards like just straight mechanical and straight digital. Just sort of like as a just sort of like a catch-all or balloon. And you could have those same brands fall in each specific category. Some of them, you know, some manufacturers don't make a tool watch. Some don't make a dress watch, that sort of thing. Some don't do quartz, you know? So, I don't know. It certainly could be a little more refined. Not familiar with the 243. Oh, that's lovely. It's a lovely tank. Polished titanium too. That's not common. So that's got to be a screw down crown. Right? It's got to be a screw down crown. Like I actually believe their pressure ratings. That really speaks to them as a company, I think, for, you know, people like me. And I don't own any, so I don't really have a you know, owner's preference or owner's bias, I should say. But there's some manufacturers where they're like, you know, 150 meter water resistance, and it's just like, no, not for a minute do I believe that. But if you showed me another tank watch and it said 10 bar water resistance, I'd be like, okay, dude, yeah, sure. All right. I get it. Yep, sure. Boy, this thing is just sweating lube. Smash innovation category. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Pizza, and then the list would still be very subjective. Oh, 100%. There's probably something to be said about refining subjectivity. Okay, that's all right. Let's drop it out and we'll scrub it a bit. And then I think I'm even going to pull out the dial screws because they were kind of crusty. Normally I would just screw them back in and let the Sonic do the work. But These ones, they're a bit sus. Yeah. Don't like that. And both of them are pretty crusty. Engine not just pressure rated, vacuum rated. Hey, Angel. Tapering expectations. Blackstone accuracy, yeah. Engine apparently 243 is not screw down crown. Why is that crown so big? Smash, I think 10 watchmakers with 30 years experience would share a lot of thoughts considering what defines luxury and quality. Yeah, yeah. Hey, Scoped. It would be interesting to see 10 different watchmakers located around the world, you know, geographic opinions, and then to see what overlaps on that. You know, as crazy as it might seem, there was a point where Invicta would have been higher on that list than Rolex. Invicta as a company, I think, has been around since the 1830s. Whereas Rolex, you know, early 1900s, I think. And I remember my dad saying, like, in the 50s, they were on par with one another. Montoya's, what solvent do you use for sonication? I like your choice of words. The cleaner I use in my Sonic is LNR. And that's what I use exclusively for watches, is the ammoniated ultrasonic solution that they sell. And then of course the rinse that comes along with it. I don't like the Zenith solution. It just doesn't seem to work as good, is less consistent, and has a weaker shelf life. Doesn't quite last as long. Check the wife's 243, not screw down. Dang, that. Must be pretty substantial gasket to be able to withstand 10 bar without any real pressure on it. So now I'm a little bit more suspect. I'm a little more like 10 bar without a screw down crown. I think it's doable when they're new. But maybe after, a few years of use, I wouldn't trust it to 10 bar. Maybe not even 2 bar. Okay, let's get the balance assembly back in there. How are we doing? Oh, it's still early. And I'm feeling okay. Definitely not 100%, but I'm okay.